Earlier in the newscast, we told you about President Trump's refusal to commit to a peaceful transfer of power should he lose the election. We also brought you reaction from local lawmakers and voters. But what does November 4th look like, the day after the presidential election? To help us try to understand all this is political science professor Dr. Bill Rosenberg with Drexel University. Dr. Rosenberg, thanks for being here tonight.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
So the president has suggested there might not be a peaceful transfer of power. What are we talking about here? What would something like that look like?
Well, one of the things I think we need to recognize is that what really distinguishes the United States from many parts of the world is that we do have this transition, a peaceful transition between administrations based upon elections. And that's been a standard process for our entire history in the United States. It's not something that's necessarily expected in many other parts of the world, particularly in authoritarian regimes and also in various banana republics. This is not the first time that Donald Trump has talked this way. In 2016, he made the same types of comments that said if he didn't beat Hillary Clinton, he basically would be claiming that the election was rigged.
Of course, some leaders in his own party are saying there will be a peaceful transition of power. So another new focal point of the election now is that open seat on the U.S. Supreme Court as well. What role does that seat play in the transfer of power and the president's comments?
Well, I think it is posing sort of a dangerous situation for the United States, because the assumption is that when a president nominates someone to go on the Supreme Court, they're going to be like-minded. And if we think about the fact that he was able to put on Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, and now with a third seat likely to come about, that would be 6-3 in terms of votes. And all we have to do is remember to go back to the 2000 election of Bush versus Gore, when the Supreme Court essentially decided who was going to be the president. So I think that's really what the concern is all about.
Mm-hmm. We know President Trump has often pointed to mail-in ballots as being a reason that he won't commit to this peaceful transfer of power. Is that a reason to refuse a smooth transition? Is that, in fact, a real factor?
So I think there's actually perhaps even an undercurrent to this whole issue in terms of a strategy. I think Trump would like to see on election night the results that are reported on the network show him in the lead, winning, and then he'll claim a legitimate win. And what's likely to happen is those mail-in ballots are likely to go against Trump, and then he's going to see, this is really just a rigged election. The vote on election night showed I won.
Thank you.
Have a good night.